Good morning. I welcome you to the presentation of my paper, The Optimal Returns Integrational Network Orion. The Optimal Returns Integrational Network Orion is produced innovatively to elaborate significant parameters of the portfolio optimization domain, such as, at first, the trends on investment patterns, secondly, the entropic effect on investors in the chaotic market effects of the markets in the stochastic differential equations by Charlie statistics and fractal market hypothesis (FMH), the detection, thirdly, of optimal classifier on 60 modular models of plane nets of neural and hybrid neurogenetics to support the optimal investment policy are examined. During the second phase of the portfolio selection are required further higher moments, volatility, hyperkurtosis, ultrakurtosis, hyperultrakurtosis, and so on, expressed as an almost adequate approach of the maximum Sharpe ratio. This paper examines the first steps that resolves the second step. To these 60 modular models, MDNs, are evaluated in neural or neurogenetic hybrids, 20 modular neural and 40 modular hybrids in different topologies that seek an optimal classifier for portfolio selection. This paper at first analyzes the behavioral preferences of investors in advanced moments on profits and risk exposure. Secondly, supports further the isoelastic utility as a sufficient norm. Thirdly, evolves Markovit's portfolio theory, extracting hidden patterns on portfolio selection. In terms of the behavior of investors, then non-logical behavioral reactions of investors are affected by emotional non-linear biases of high complexity and need excess computational and mathematical resources. The high volatility during the periodical crisis have short investment horizons in the fractal market hypothesis, as the terms distributions are not normally identically and independently distributed, and the efficient market hypothesis fails in the markets. The investors emphasize on the potential losses, thus I model the procedure of investment based on the novel perspective of Charlie's chaotic entropy to examine the fractals of the stock market chaos and the fractal market hypothesis. Investors evolve an expected utility on logical returns, considering a risk averse of neutral pattern. The further higher moments reveal investors with hidden preferences on the implied utility function of the Hara. Thus, advanced moments further than the fourth of the kurtosis are used. The optimization model is expressed in equality number 4, as it has been updated by Parpas and Maringer. Now, in my case, the advanced computational resources are required on the heuristics to resolve the non-convex problem. I define an effective local hybrid classifier that extracts hidden accounting information that investigates potential corporate hoax to defend the investment. The model is advanced to this model. On the first huge parenthesis is the risk in various form of higher moments like variance, kurtosis, and so on. And on the second is the return, expressed in mean, skewness, hyperskewness, and so on. The modular neural and hybrid neurogenetic networks are investigated in extended variations as classifiers. The modular networks and their hybrids are feed-forward sets as a specific form of the MLPs, elaborating the input in multiple parallel MLPs, recombining their outcomes. A structure is produced on the topology, given more specialization of the function in each submodule. From the first 4 MDN topologies, the linear feed-forward with no bypasses is selected overall. The MDNs opposing the MLPs are not totally interconnected to their layers, and the design of the best MDN topology based on the data is fuzzy, with no guarantees that each module is specializing its training on a unique part of the data. This research uses 16 input neurons, 1 output, 706 exemplars. The hidden layers use the upper neurons form of 4 neurons with no GAs. The transfer function is the tanh axon. On the lower level, we have 4 neurons, and the lower transfer function is tanh axon as well. The learning rule is the momentum, step size 0.1, momentum 0.7. The backpropagation is used in learning, weights change on previous value and the correction term, and they are updated by the learning rule. The supervised learning control had 1000 maximum epochs. The termination is the mean square error choice. The threshold is 0.01 with minimum value. The load based on test is the technique which is appropriate, and I use batch learning. This is the modular neural network. You see it's a network of networks, and this is a modular hybrid network with the genetics. The Orion integrated system has this algorithm, and the problem definition uses advanced higher moments to support a logical reflection of investment patterns and their dynamic behavior. So they are introduced to filter the manipulation of higher levels of investment risk. The chaotic dynamics to a risky stock process follow the stochastic differential equation given in this form. And the non-convex form of the problem demands robust heuristics for the solution. Cooked accounting, Ramos, hoaxes require a reliable valuation of the firm. The SDEs evolve to this formula of 11, and the random variable omega satisfies equality number 12, where P, Q, omega tau is the maximum Challis entropy distribution of non-extensive statistics. The model can describe the volatility clustering and long-term harmony phenomena of asset prices. The return is the known form. Thus, optimal utility function is utilized to optimize the portfolio. This approach can also be supported by kappa distribution, which are much more complicated. Now, the data came by 1,411 companies from a Greek bank with 16 indices according to the Cortis methodology of 78. For example, earning to before interest and taxes to total assets, net income to net worth, and so on. Also, as a 17th index with initial classification by bank executives is used. The test set was 50% of overall data, and training was 50% as well. Multiple combinations were chosen to detect the performance of the modular networks. At first, the modular neural networks. Secondly, the modular neurals with cross-validations. Thirdly, the modular neurals with genetics in input layer only. Fourthly, the modulars with genetics in input and output layers only. Five, the modulars with genetics in all layers, and six, the modulars with genetics in all layers and cross-validation. On the results, the out of sample, on the out of sample, the modular neural network of 3 layers had the optimal performance of classification within the healthy and distressed assets at 99.16% and 83.48% respectively. High fitness of the model of the data had an R of 0.88. The lowest mean square error was 0.092. Net mean square error was 0.21. And the absolute error 4.6%. The Akaike was very low at minus 1230.98, revealing a very fast time of 26 seconds. The second rank was given to the modular of neural net of 4 layers, and the third rank was given to the hybrid modular of 2 layers. On the in-sample, the modular of 2 layers and genetics in all the layers was the best classifier. Overall, the modulars had superior performance than the hybrid modular, as it's shown in table 2, which is following. The conclusion of the remarks is that modular neural networks of 3 and 4 hidden layers respectively had superior classification out of sample and performance in a very fast processing time, although the hybrid modular validation 2 hidden layers ranked fourth, that had a better diversity of intertemporal solutions in a medium time of process. This is table number 1. You see the vastness of our different models. And here are table 2 and 3 with the optimal hybrid classifiers and their characteristics and results. Thank you very much for your participation. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me. My email is this one. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you very much again.